This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway. Supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, sliceonbroadway.com. And listeners like you, support this show at patreon.com/awesomecast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
It's time to get geeky, talk tech. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter. Your master of ceremonies here for all the geekiness in Pittsburgh, PA. I got a crew with me today, including Katie Dudas, back in the studio, fresh off of a vacation. Ready to go on another vacation.
Yay, more vacation.
At K Dutters on the Twitter.
Hi.
Of course, behind the Scarehouse podcast, Scarehouse Weekly, Scarehouse. It's coming up soon. It's coming up real soon.
Yes.
You're going to hear a lot about it.
Yes. Sorry, in advance.
Yes, of course. And also with us from Studio C, he told Siri to turn on his lights. It's John Chichilla at chillatech.net.
How's it going today?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
podcast land.
hello, podcast land. Well, like I said, this is the AwesomeCast. It's awesomecast.net. If you want to subscribe to this or the interview series, that should be spinning up here once again in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to what we have lined up there to be dropping into that feed. So it's going to be a lot of fun with that. We're actually going to get to recordings next week, so hopefully maybe we'll play with it, maybe a live stream, Facebook Live it or something on location. That's right, we're not doing it in the studio. I'm going other places to interview people for the show, and I'm hoping hopefully it's a better show for it. We'll see. But you can subscribe to the show there at awesomecast.net. Like I said, follow us at AwesomeCast on the Twitter, AwesomeCast on the Facebook. I'm going to delete Google Plus from the notes because we don't do that anymore. And like I said, subscribe and rate us YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or here live every Tuesday at live.sorgatronmedia.com. In the chat room, like our friends Wheels and Krause and whoever else stops by through the evening. We appreciate you guys joining us live and giving us a good vibe as we talk tech through the night and get geeky. Also, we're also replayed on every Thursday, 8 a.m. after Funny Money on riversedgepgh.com. Go listen to them now if you're catching this, especially on Wednesday morning or Tuesday night. They're about to hit a station record for listens for the month. They're just a little bit away from it, so looking forward to that. And that group is ever growing, and it's great to see. Also, a big thanks to our friends at the from our Patreon, patreon.com/awesomecast, including Thistlesea Business Development up there in Cranberry, PA, at Thistlesea on the Twitter, and Mike Fedor at Mike Fedor's Show on the Twitter. Check them out. Thank them for supporting the show. And you can, too, over at patreon.com/awesomecast. Become our boss. They're both at the $5 level, the executive producer level. If you found value in the show, you can contribute to it there. If you want if you want us to talk about your thing in the show, if you want something you want to get the word out on, we have some kind of advertiser levels there, and we're looking forward. And you have any questions about that, hit us up on any of the contact pages or anything, and or at Sorgatron on Twitter, and we'll kind of explain that too. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. Looks like we're getting very social media-y at the beginning of this. Let's go ahead and start with you, Katie.
This story is Snapchat. Snapchat. I just read Snapchat. That's what comes in my mouth. Well, I was talking about stories. So Instagram stories was a big thing we talked about a couple weeks ago, that you were able to do a lot of Snapchat type things in Instagram now with temporary stories, videos, and photos. And now they're going to allow you to explore in Instagram stories. So what that is if your friends are very boring and they're not offering you very good stories to watch, then you can explore and find other options. Which is very, very interesting to me, at least for this, is the talk about that their explore option. I don't know if you ever looked at Instagram. There's the explore option where you can look either based on what other people are looking at, other popular things. They said 1/5 or 100 million people visit it every day. That's 1/5 of the users on Instagram visit the explore.
Wow.
Daily.
I keep forgetting it's there and get there by accident.
Yeah, it's there. I do the same thing. But that's
why 1/5 of them visit, because they accidentally tapped
what
there.
is this thing? I'm going to click this
And a
button.
fifth of them actually meant to be there.
Yeah, so it's actually 120. So what's cool is, one, you're kind of getting a peek into Instagram's numbers a little bit more, because there's the 500 million monthly users, which is insane, and this is why it's overtaken Twitter, if you're still kind of wondering about that. And then, but Explore, people really just like to look at pictures that are interesting to them, that don't necessarily fall into their normal friends or rotation. And they use, similar to Facebook, they use an algorithm, so it's not just popularity, it's more of, what they think you're going to like. So now you'll be able to tell if Instagram really knows you. And when they start posting stories that you're actually interested in versus ones that you're just like, what is this?
I'm already finding some stuff I'm really interested in. It's wrestling related, by the way. So
No way. But yes.
I'll actually say from an Instagram perspective, I tend to search Instagram and I look at those areas to look at trends much more than I look at that type of content on Twitter or look at hashtags or anything like that. So I will say, and maybe it's just because Twitter's a little more graphical and it's kind of like flipping through a magazine or a photo album for me. It's kind of like I can quickly scroll and look for things that might be of interest to me. And I think their sourcing is pretty darn good. Also, I feel like their users take kind of a different angle and have definitely make things pop and make you want to look at them. I wish Snapchat's curation and search was as good as Instagram.
Yeah, because it's just not. I a lot of times I don't find the things that I want to see on Snapchat. It's just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. It's more my friends are doing, but beyond that, I don't find myself dabbling as much in their curated content.
It's really tough because I've now found myself for a good few months. I was in that Snapchat kind of ecosystem with a lot of friends, and then the Instagram stories came and I just went all in on that. But I also find myself just not taking the time, unfortunately, to check out everybody else's stories as much as I used to. I'm just not in an exploration phase, I guess.
The one time that I do find exploring, especially on Instagram, is during Comic-Cons or those type of big events with a really good hashtag. When it comes to those kind of things, I'm more interested in the Instagram posts, the pictures, the video clips, versus Twitter seems to be a lot more text and single photo related. That's where I really like grabbing Wizard World Philly or Wizard World Chicago, grab their hashtags and actually throw them into Instagram and finding content that way.
Well, I'm just peeking at my Explore now, and the things that they've kind of pulled up for me make sense. Like the first one is cats. The second one is celebrities, which, okay, bakers, kawaii, and then we get into boxers, as both in the sport and bottoms. And unusual pets.
I was thinking dogs.
Well, no, there's not even any dogs. It's just bottoms and fighters. Unusual pets, which is not curated very correctly. Let me tell you, there's some very obscene pictures. Ice cream and Bengal cats. Breakfast. So they're kind of hitting some things, but some of these things are kind of way off. I'm like, what did I like or watch or look at before to get some of these items? I guess if nothing else, you get to see how this particular technology views you.
Right, because they're getting that point where they're pulling a lot of that data like Facebook. Even though I wouldn't say it's probably more skewed a different way. Like you look for different things on Pinterest than you do on Facebook, right? So you're going to get maybe this is the place where I look at Comic-Con pictures as opposed to maybe a lot of other networks, and now that just loops you into everything geeky that they could possibly throw at you on Instagram, right? So awesome. So it's still growing. I don't know how you guys do. You feel like that people have had a choice now? Has that hurt Snapchat? Are you noticing less activity amongst your circle, Katie?
I'm noticing a lot. I used to get a lot more snaps, and then now it's pretty much non-existent, at least targeted towards me. And then when I look in stories, there's really not a whole ton of stories where it used to be a lot more things going on. And I've seen a lot of people kind of migrate to one or the other and not both.
Right. Because you can't. It feels weird to duplicate.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like, no, you gotta pick a team. Are you team Snapchat or your team Instagram? Because now they're related, and I think Instagram kind of wins because there's more to it. Like in the long run. Well, it was this other thing too. Oh, and I can do that Snapchat thing here. Well, then I'm going to go back to Instagram, and it brings more awareness to that. And I find myself posting more pictures because of it, because I'm not leaving that and spending that time somewhere else. So, it'll be interesting to see where this goes from here. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Snapchat Instagram fence, or geo fence, as it might be, right, Chilla?
Oh, definitely. So Snapchat, and this is actually something I think that could definitely be beneficial. And to me, this would pull me over to Snapchat, especially if I'm in an event. So Snapchat released an update for iOS today. And with their update, they allow you to pin text to areas. They kind of used to give you the bar. They allow for some rich text stuff with underline and bold versus just their typical text and large white text. What I thought was cool was not only from the website, and it sounded like it was a pretty cumbersome process to get your own geo filters and pictures in there. You have the ability to create custom geo filters. Geo filters, from my understanding, costs or start at about $5, depending on location, time of day, and how long you want them to exist. But I thought it was a pretty nifty idea to allow you to create that from the site, and I've heard that you can also create them right from the app.
Ooh.
I thought it would be awesome for like opening events for certain venues, even if certain bands were playing at certain venues, kickoffs for different places. I could just definitely see this, weddings. I think it's a really, really great idea, and I really think it could bring a lot of revenue in for them. They made some other minor changes where you can, they kind of changed the way the lenses work. I think you can simply tap on the face instead of tapping and holding. But the thing that really caught my eye was the geo filters, and kind of think for PodCamp, if you could throw easily, quickly, and for hopefully relatively inexpensively create a lot of additional filters in there, and other people could contribute to the filters. I think it's a really cool idea, and really differentiates them from the other companies like Instagram.
I like it. Yeah, it's not as cumbersome to get into it, right? That accessibility is going to help them a whole lot. Yeah, I like the idea of like birthday parties, weddings. Like, this is something that you could do, like, kind of on your own, right?
Well, I don't know. Could you see like Scare House doing it for like opening night, like getting people out there and having custom stuff out, geo filters out there? I don't know. I could definitely see, even if you were having a party with a bunch of friends and everybody was into Snapchat, I think throwing your own custom party geo filter out there, it'd be worth $5 to me.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
I like it. I think, I don't know, I think it's going to be a lot. I like the fact that it's the app within the app, as opposed to when we had to, if you've ever had to create one, it's something where it's a little bit of a challenge. And then you have to submit it, but this is just easy peasy. Boop, boop.
Was this something that you could make in Photoshop before and then import it? I mean, there's probably like a lot of specs to that, or
There
something,
are specs,
right?
yeah. Fun specs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not terrible. It's just, if you're not skilled, it's a little bit of a pain. And this is like, boop, 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 done.
This is something that the graphics department does, right? This isn't necessarily like Joe Schmo does, right? But this is their ability to let Joe Schmo do it. So I think it's awesome. All right, my thing is not social media so much. So I'm an Xbox user, and being an Xbox user, I haven't had a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2. But I was really, really kind of excited to see, although I'm not entirely sure if I have a PC that'll be able to run this that's not also running a studio, or I'm going to have to throw Boot Camp on a Mac in order to do this. Now that I'm looking at the specs. But PlayStation Now, a streaming gaming service, kind of think On Live, and I think Gaikai was the other one. I think that's the one they actually bought that became this service. Their streaming service launches on PC today, actually. Now, this is the service where you pay monthly. You can pay $20 a month, or you can pay $100 for the entire 12 months of access to this. And it's basically I saw it written somewhere as but it's right here on the Verge article. It's kind of like a Netflix for games, and they basically the yearly subscription is a limited thing for now. So you can play mostly PlayStation 3 games are included on this. Stuff like the Tomb Raider reboot, Borderlands, Harmony of Despair, Castlevania, and as I'm going through the site, it appeared that I'm going to go back to their thing, like titles like No Man's Land, Uncharted, things that you can't get on an Xbox anywhere else are available on this. Now, again, not being in the PlayStation 3, there are certainly games on the PlayStation that I'd love to play. Metal Gears, Metal Gear 4, the ones I mentioned, Uncharted and stuff. This is a nice option. Previous to this, there was a PlayStation TV that did this. For about $100, you can get this machine and it'll stream these games if you pay for the service. I think this is a cool, interesting way to do this instead of letting things kind of gather on your shelves, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, as it is with the Xbox, I'm probably about 50-50 on games I own physically and games that I've purchased digitally, not including all the games for gold that I've amassed over the couple of years of that program that for a system I don't even own yet in the Xbox One. And I think we're probably at that point where what we saw with On Live that kind of was questionable works even better with the way the internet is these days. So I think it's a pretty cool option for this. And what I'm kind of looking at is like maybe if I want to dive into that PlayStation back catalog, it'd be worth $20 a month. Play through the games you want to play, and you're done, right? Or hopefully you'll find other things, and it just becomes is it on the thing? Let me check it out. Having those games on Games for Gold have been amazing because I'm playing a lot of stuff that I haven't explored. Including a lot of indie games are actually popping up on there. So I think it's pretty cool and kind of an interesting way to kind of repackage those as opposed to Nintendo that piecemeals. Okay, you're going to have Super Mario Brothers on this system, and then you're going to wait for it and pay for it again on this system, and then you're going to buy that mini NES thing and buy it again there. PlayStation's kind of bundling them all together. So I think that's pretty cool. So PlayStation Now, go check it out. If anyone is using PlayStation Now, let me know their thoughts on the service because I'm kind of curious about how it runs, and if they see any problems, any kind of starting. Because I worry about it because it's streaming from, a server and responding to your gameplay over the internet. And I'd be kind of curious if you do notice lag every once in a while, when you're playing something fast like God of War or something, right? So, be interesting to look at. Hopefully, get a hands-on on it.
I thought it was pretty cool that they have a dongle there that you can grab a PlayStation 4 controller, DualShock, and hook that up. There's a lot of different ways to get your gameplay on. The one thing that I was surprised when you mentioned that there was no Mac support. I know the dongle does support Mac. I don't know if you have to necessarily be running Windows on your Mac for that dongle to work, but I thought it was a really good way to bridge the gap too and bring the native gameplay feel of even the controller along with you. So kudos to them. I know Xbox has done this as well with their newer controller and some add-ons that you could put in the past. But I think it definitely helps bring those players along, as well as bring new players to the different systems. So if you like enough games, is it going to cause you to, I want to continue this next one. Oh, it's on the PS4. I'm going to have to pick up one of those and continue to play.
Right.
Future versions. It
kind of gets you into it. It also gets you a reason to get into their exclusive properties too. There is a 7-day trial if you do want to try this out. Again, I kind of recommend that to make sure it does work with your internet configuration, that your computer is fast enough to do it. Like I said, I really don't even think the PC I have is like, I know this one, but we're kind of using Wirecast on it, so I'm not going to be playing PlayStation on it. But,
I was surprised that the minimum specs are Core i3, 2 gigahertz, and 2 gig of RAM. And we're not
that's not
talking
bad.
crazy equipment here.
I must have been.
Oh.
Hello?
Somehow we got unmuted or on something. Yeah, it was feeding back. I also think I forgot my thought now. I must have been looking at the high end specs because I thought I was going to need a 3.5 gigahertz computer. So no, that actually does kind of work in. Realize you're streaming. Heck. Okay, we're gonna cut that off.
I see one of you muting and unmuting occasionally.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm not entirely sure why. Actually, I might have my arm on the keyboard, and that was triggering it. But we just killed it off. You can't see me. Chilla can't see me now, so
no.
We'll work that out here. But no, it'll be interesting to try out. All right, guys. This is AwesomeCast 314. AwesomeCast Pie. We don't have pie per se, but we do have, as we determined, pizza pie here in the studio, as we do from our good friends at Slice on Broadway. So I want to give them a shout out. They've been supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with pepperoni pizza for quite a while now here in Beachview on Broadway Avenue, of course, along the tracks here on Main Street down in Carnegie, PA, and PNC Park, home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I've been seeing so many pictures of the PNC Park location lately. It's been pretty incredible. I'm glad that a lot more people are exposed to the Slice experience, and hopefully that means it's going to bring them out to these other locations as well, especially as things are kind of growing up here. Taste of Beachview is 2 Saturdays away. If you're kind of curious about Slice or any of these other places around here, I understand there's a certain baked goods company called Bite Me people should check out. That's going to be a part of that Taste of Beachview. Just look that up on Facebook. I know there's a group for that to get details. But check out our friends. They'll be a part of it. Slice on Broadway, sliceonbroadway.com, PGH_Slice on the Facebook, and Slice on Broadway PGH_Slice on the Twitter, and Slice on Broadway on the Facebook and the Instagram. And let them know you heard about them here on the AwesomeCast. All right, we got a public service announcement, guys. So we talked about this little doodad last week, right?
Ooh.
Or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. But these Step It Fit items, fitness trackers, if you can call them that. I don't know. Mine just kind of blinks a lot. Yep, there goes. Well,
it's gonna hurt you.
It's gonna hurt you apparently. So make sure we were at McDonald's earlier, and there's a sign that says, "Please take it immediately away from your child, and redeem it for a free bag of apple slices or Go-Gurt."
What happens if they won't give him a toy?
Don't give him a toy. Sorry about that. Here's your Go-Gurt. Sorry I burnt you, kid. So, just since we were kind of putting this over a few weeks ago, I don't know. Maybe I should hold on to it. Maybe it'll be a collector's item until it burns my desk, I guess. Or I should just go get me some Go-Gurt.
It is Go-Gurt.
It is Go-Gurt. You had me at Go-Gurt. But we'll see. We'll see about that. All right. What else is going on of interest, guys? Katie. Hi.
I'm super interested in Katie's Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so there's a certain announcement coming up. Chillo, when is that announcement? With the Apple thing?
Next Wednesday, the 7th.
So there's rumors that this new Apple iPhone will only have Bluetooth capabilities, no place to put your headset anymore. And how am I going to listen to my sweet, sweet jams? It's very sad. Well, Griffin, if you're familiar with Griffin, they do a lot of great one-off products like that work with the, give you... it's a really cool accessory company, I guess. And they're giving you this for $20. They will give you the capabilities to turn your headphones into Bluetooth. It's only $20.
And that what I really like about that is if say you purchased a $150 pair of headphones.
Got my Beats by Dre.
Yeah, well, even like some Bose. I mean, you can spend up to I think like $400 for a decent pair of Bose. I mean, now you have something that you can connect those up.
Mm-hmm. And it's
one thing I thought was. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it. I like the fact that it also has a 30-foot range.
That's not bad.
6 hours of charge.
It's not bad. You can apply that to about anything, right?
Mhm.
Anything you can pair for Bluetooth.
Mhm.
So, well, there you go.
It's using the new Bluetooth 4.1 standard, which I thought it was pretty impressive. The other thing that was a little confusing to me, and I'd be interested in playing around with it, they actually took and put a microphone built in to the clip, which I thought was interesting. But my question was going to be, what happens if your headphones already have a built-in mic? Is that going to be canceled and it's just going to use the mic off the device? Because one of the things I'm interested in is that the headphones I'm wearing right now, I use these a lot to talk on the phone, primarily because they go over both ears. They actually have noise cancellation that I can turn on and off. The microphone is extremely well at canceling out background noise. I don't know if you hopefully don't hear the hum, because I've done a lot of tests to make sure you don't. I'm sitting right next to a window air conditioner. It's on right now, and you hopefully can't hear it.
Not at all.
So someone can open and close my door to the office, so you're not going to hear that. So this headset that I wear probably 4 days a week is extremely important to me. And if I can't continue to use that, I have to find some way to make phone calls, or I'll potentially have to use a different cell phone when I need to make certain calls for work, just so I don't have any background noise.
So, this is a side note here, but I was following through the article to the Moto Z that apparently also does not have an iPhone or a headphone jack. It also has a projector, apparently, as part of it, one of those Pico projectors. So they kind of just threw everything into this, didn't they? It's incredible. This is the Moto Z, and yeah, it's a curious looking phone with their projector.
The Pico projectors are nice, that especially when you're trying to present, if you have a meeting with someone and you just want to throw it up on the wall. Where they kind of where I've run into them problems with them, and we have a couple Pico projectors around work, is that it does need a pretty decent dark room. The lumens typically aren't that high.
Yeah.
So you are going to need to either turn off or definitely turn way down the lights to get that working. I don't know if Motorola's found a way around that. Obviously, battery drain could also be an issue, but I'd definitely be interested in seeing that in action. But Motorola didn't go out of business, and they don't have a headphone jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I seeing this? Is this a modular phone? Like they've been talking about?
It might be. It might be a foray into the project Aria. Because don't forget, wasn't Motorola a spinoff of? They got a bunch of Google patents, and aren't they owned by Lenovo now?
Yeah, I think Lenovo picked them up.
Yeah.
Big speakers on the back, which apparently come off. That's pretty incredible. Yeah, it's okay, and even the Pico projector is kind of an add-on piece too. So, wow.
LG tried this. I'm not 100% sure how well it worked for them.
Right.
LG had add-ons that had a better camera. They had an external 360 camera that almost looks identical to your Theta.
Tacked onto a phone? That's crazy.
Yeah, like theirs is like an insertable card that goes in the bottom of the phone, and it kind of goes in where the battery goes in. And typically, the cards come with an additional battery life. But I'm guessing Moto's playing off of some of the technology that Google came up with as Project Aura or Aria, I think it was.
Speaking of, I don't even know how to cross this over, but Google Plus is coming. Coming for all new Google Plus is coming for all users soon. Meanwhile, as we're chipping away at all of the features, and made me mad apparently for no reason 2 weeks ago when I saw the Google Hangouts announcement, which isn't exactly what I thought it was. But Google Plus is getting updated. What's going on with this, Chilla?
So there was a preview last November that Google did, and they were updating their communities, their collections. They were updating a lot of the UI pieces. I can't. I'm having a hard time. I had a hard time at the beginning. I continue to have a struggle with Google Plus in general. So it did surprise me. The question I have, much like I had last week about Amazon's Echo, and is anyone interested in an additional pay service? Google Plus, is anyone interested in their updates? It is supposed to focus more around interests and make the new Google Plus more simpler. They've rebuilt it from web, Android, iOS, so it's a consistent experience. Blah 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 blah. It sounds like they're adapting some of their design methodologies, but again, I still struggle with if I'm going to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'm struggling to try to hit Snapchat as much as possible. Am I going to make it to Google Plus on a multi-time per day, either daily, weekly, etc. time? I don't know. Is it too little, too late?
I can tell you, I never reinstalled Google Plus from months ago.
Do you visit it on your PC?
Like when I have notifications from the groups that I belong to, that's it. I'm opening it up for the first time in a while, and I'm having maybe is this the new look here? I'm getting the welcome to the new Google Plus. Amazing things made by passionate people. Let's go. And I realize I have the wrong screen up here. Let me see if I can pull it up over here.
Yeah, when you hit Let's Go, it brings you to the new.
And so far, it looks a lot like the Google Play Store, like that kind of view on things. So if we pull it up here, yeah, it looks a lot like the Google Play Store. Everything's blue. Everything. No, wait, am I? I don't know. It looks completely different on this other computer. Also, this is Windows XP with an outdated version of Chrome, so that might have something to do with it.
Yeah,
too.
probably can't handle the new.
Well, I mean, look. So
UI.
this is what it looks like now if you're on video. Pretty flat. I mean, it just kind of looks like a website. That's it. Oh wait, I'm still posting stuff to it. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
Good job.
I didn't even know I posted that today. But apparently, I'm still cross posting some stuff to it. Okay, that's cool. So if anybody does come across our stuff, there's something going on. Hey, this live stream is on there because I'm using YouTube. Oh, okay, that's cool. But other than that, yeah, wow, I'm cross posting a lot of stuff that I forgot about on here. Here's something about USB Type-C cables because sure, Google. But no, other than that, yeah, I kind of keep an eye out for what's going on in the groups. I get emails or I get notifications about that, and that's about it. So I can't see. There's still wrestling stuff going on here. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. No, I can't get into it. And you say, well, what's going to make me when I have all these other apps? I think the difference is you're going to get the people that says, man, I really don't like living in Facebook. Google Plus is the place for me. I don't know who those people are.
They exist?
Somebody has to. Somebody enjoys this. Enough
this
people.
Is just a collection of cross posts.
It is. maybe that's just what yours is, but but the groups are. I've definitely seen the groups kind of fall down in the recent months. The podcaster group that I belong to, that was amazing, is definitely kind of thinned out a little bit. I feel like, so like to the point where I feel like it's kind of like a LinkedIn group, which are always useless. Please prove me wrong. Find me a useful LinkedIn group. I don't know them yet. I've been looking for a while. So even that, geez, I'm not even getting on LinkedIn these days enough, other than posting something once a week, So I don't know. It'll be curious to see.
I guess my point is to some point, it gets difficult as you start to oversaturate yourself across all these different social networks. So I'm not sure. I don't think everyone's going to be able to survive, and I'm surprised Google's. I guess my question is: does Google have more planned that we don't know about?
potentially.
Hence the UI change and some of the stuff. Are we going to? I don't know. Is this going to be a source for Allo, the kind of the chat text slash AI search? Is it going to pull stuff out of here? I don't know. Or is it going to put stuff here?
It's gonna be Google Groups until they finally decide they don't want to do it anymore. I can't see much they can do with this. Who knows what they're working on in the background, but I just it feels like that kind of thing is going to die off. Like Google people shrug at you when you ask them about Google Plus. I think there's something up there. So
Let's corner a Google person and be like, "What's up?
I
What's up with
did.
Google Plus?"
I actually did once. I'm like, so how is Google Plus these days, Google person? But anyways, well, speaking of, so I got heated a couple weeks ago, right, about Google Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, I read it as Google Hangouts on air were going to end in 4 weeks. And I don't know if I was reading the article wrong or somebody hit me up about it, and so I was already kind of tainted and read it a certain way. I was reading the FAQs. How did I even end up here? But I ended up on the FAQs for Google Hangouts and YouTube Live. I think I was poking around to see what they were going to replace it with because they said, hey, YouTube Live, you got to use YouTube Live. I didn't realize, because this is how confusing Google Plus was. Because Google Hangouts, initially, you could only initiate by getting people onto Google Plus, right? Like Hangouts on there, anything else, right? And at a certain point, you could start initiating that in the live events on YouTube Live. You basically have a custom or you have a go live now thing, right? That's basically Google Hangouts on air. They are eliminating the usefulness of being in Google Plus and being able to be in here on Google Plus to initiate that. You have to initiate a Google Hangouts on air, the streaming YouTube version, Hangouts on air in your YouTube Live dashboard. That means this doesn't affect us at all. After all that,
right, and that was I think I posted on one of the comments around. Are you sure they're not just ripping it out of Google Plus?
And I wasn't based on the article, based on my understanding of the article. It just looked like goodbye Hangouts on air, but Hangouts are going to be around, which perplexed the hell out of me, right? I'm like, how are you going to take that? And you're going to say, well, you can always just stream with a webcam, but you can't let multiple people in. I thought that was the most fascinating part, right? But, and I don't think I'm the only one. I feel like I listened to a Twitter, a MacBreaker or something, where they had the same discussion.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of people got nervous because those news articles, I think I was on vacation when they started to hit. Jumping from news article to news article, I think the first one I read was like 5 sentences. And it sounded like information was just starting to trickle out. And I think people just took and ran with fear and posted a lot of information that, or hypothesized. And I feel like we have a lot more to hear from Google before the end of the year, and especially as we hit 2017. I thought the way I read the original Hangout piece was, we're ripping it out of Google Plus. You'll still be able to fire it up from YouTube. And I was reading between the lines to that being, hey, goodbye Google Plus. If they're going to redo the whole UI, that really makes me wonder, is Google Plus going to be your launch board for a web-based Allo or Duo? Sorry, the one-to-one video. Because when you look at a lot of these technologies, like I think Hangouts does it really well, right? You can fire it up from any browser. There's apps across phones. They're developing Duo to be the same type of way. Are we going to see that FaceTime web version come out of Google Plus?
Right. It makes sense that it would, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Much like Hangouts was, and they are getting confusing because they don't even recommend using Hangouts as your primary SMS solution on an Android phone. which perplexes me.
Well, did they run into the same issue if you leave? Does that cause a cross-platform issue?
Kind of like the iMessage thing where you kind of get stuck in that.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. But I actually tried something different last night. Actually, I didn't have this in a rundown, but I'll kind of talk about it a little bit here. There's something called Smile Time. It's very beta, and the more I look at it, I feel like it's going to go the way of a Blab because it looks like it's trying to do a very similar thing. And I actually read, so Blab.im we talked about, right? You got to put 4 people up, and it was like if you took Periscope but with 4 people on Periscope, right? And if you get a chance, go there and read, because they're like, what happened? And they go through the article of the pluses and the minuses and why it worked. And they're actually redoing things. They found out, like, a lot of people were on it. A lot of people spent a lot of time on it. Like, I think they said an average of 45 minutes. But they were aiming at that we all came on and did content. What ended up happening, people were coming out just to kick it and react and everything. And even when you were allowed to go back and watch things, there was like nobody did it. Because it's just the thing you logged into and hung out on, right? Like Hangouts. And it's a really interesting analysis of why that doesn't work, why Periscope doesn't work, why even Facebook Live is having problems with that now. You really need really compelling stuff, right? I mean, hell, we don't get a lot of people here live, but a lot of people catch us afterwards. We kind of have a flip problem on that. Smile Time was interesting, and it was actually pitched to me by way of somebody else, and I guess some CW shows or something use it, right? And it's got a really, really horrid interface actually for now. But if you go in, and we have a Wrestling Mayhem Show channel. We actually experimented with this on the Monday Night Show. If you go to our Wrestling Mayhem Show Facebook page, you can see how the video looked. So I'm able to, like, this would be imagine this is my webcam if you're on video. So there's, it takes up the entire square. But you're able to take elements and GIFs. Oh, it's probably not going to work in this browser. Hold on a second. It's also really low. And you have 3 boxes on the left that you can put things. So you could put other people's video feeds in there, kind of like a Google Hangout sort of situation. And you can drag into the center to kind of use that as kind of a video switcher of sort. It also has, Katie, you'll like this, direct search in Giphy. So you can throw a GIF right in the middle of this. Again, my resolutions are really, really low. And here's one here. So I can throw a GIF right there, and it's playing. There you go. New Day's Dancing. So, I mean, it's a cool idea, and it taps into, and I was actually having a technical problem and had to recover my video from them. It actually will stream directly to Facebook Live. So if you're looking for a low-tech solution that you can just log in, like basically think Google Hangouts goes to YouTube, this goes to YouTube Live. It is super early. It's beta. It's glitchy. There might be some possibilities, but again, I kind of worry about investing in a platform like this in the long run.
So what was it called? I missed it, and I was having a hard time. I had to bring up the video because I don't know.
Smiletime.com.
Smiletime.com.
Smiletime. By the way, Smiletime, lots of things are called Smiletime. So, because I was trying to look for some support for this, and I kept getting just other random things called Smiletime, and it kind of got a little odd. If you go to, again, the Wrestling Mayhem Show's Facebook page, or actually our YouTube page, because I put I ended up getting the video. They kind of back-ended it to me since we kind of had a misconnection there, and I thought I lost my video. But the final video is available, and I like the quality of the video. I really do. I don't know why Google Hangouts, when I use it for on air, like the quality is pretty rough down here. But here it is here for the video people, and you see a little bit of the guys on the left there, and it's a pretty cool format. It kind of shows their first name and last initial, but other than that, like it was really smooth. They said that when I first logged in that I sounded like a chipmunk, so something was weird there. But it's beta, and I think it's Chrome only. It's which blab.im I think was to begin with as well.
Did you sound like a chipmunk? Like it was speaking in fast forward?
I don't know. They just said I sound high pitched and like a chipmunk, and they were freaking out.
So I've seen that occur, and that's not. I'm guessing it might not even be a smile time thing. I've seen that on a lot of different platforms when they're trying to show something live, and their end has to buffer. They try to get you back up and all the participants up as close to real time as possible. I've heard it actually happen on a lot of like voice over IP systems where you're having a phone conversation. Obviously, they need to get those people up to speed to where they are, to where you are real time, so people can continue the conversation. So it's almost like they put the audio at like 2.5x to get everyone up to that speed, and you get that chipmunk effect.
Yeah, sometimes you see the video speed up, but not the audio. Like I've seen that like on Hulu or something, where things then just don't match up, and then catch up and everything like that. So I don't know. Katie,
Hi.
what do you want to talk about?
There's a new Fitbit. Actually, there's a bunch of new Fitbits.
Ooh,
Or all kinds of Fitbitty things.
of course. After we just upgraded Missy's Fitbit.
Yes. Guess what? They heard about it and they created new things.
no.
Yay! So thank you, Missy Sorg. There are some new trackers. There's a new Fitbit Charge 2. A little more streamlined. All new heart rate and fitness wristband. Workout features. Guided breathing sessions. That's a big one on the new ones, is the guided breathing sessions, which is pretty cool. The Fitbit Flex 2, much more low profile. It's swim proof. It kind of fits into think like either the bangles or the pendants, so you're not just, you kind of be a little more fashionable when you have one of those. I think this is really interesting. If you scroll down, they have special edition Gold Series, which kind of starts looking a little bit like an Apple Watch, which is nice.
Huh.
So it's kind of on the fancy end of the trackers here. But I do like the gold. It does make it look really fancy and classy. And if you scroll down a little bit further, there's a section called Start an Adventure in the Fitbit app. You could trek across Yosemite National Park. They're working with 3 national parks, Fitbit. And what you do is every day you kind of set up a new challenge, a daily destination or landmarks or treasures. Daily destination is you'll be challenged to reach a new destination along the trail. And what else? They pay attention to the steps you usually take and kind of give you your own a little bit further so you can do it. Landmarks is really cool. You'll see Yosemite National Park in photos, but taken by an actual world-class outdoor photographer. So you'll be able to, as you're walking, get some beautiful panoramics. As you look around, it'll adjust as you rotate your phone, so you can kind of enjoy the moment as if you were really there. And then treasures is along each route you'll uncover more photos and collect fun facts, as well as health and fitness tips and mini challenges. They
put a lot into this.
Yes, this is really, really cool. They're gonna add like New York City. It looks like the full TCS New York City Marathon route and a 5K set in Midtown Manhattan. This is all supposed to be later in the month. So it's really cool. Fitbit's really stepping up their game. Like this is nice. It's a lot of things in one simple tracker.
Curious timing, because as we were talking about beforehand, the Pebble 2 will actually release in September. Which is going to include a lot of health tracking kind of stuff. Just in the regular Pebble, not the higher end ones, just the new Pebble 2. It looks like it's going to look exactly like the other Pebbles. but have a little bit more to it, microphones and other kinds of updates to it, updates to the hardware. But wow, that's pretty cool. I feel like this is one of those things that like, well, when is this going to sync with my VR gear headset and I'll be in Yosemite kind of thing. But I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Hey, along those lines, Leap Motion. I know, Chilla, you're familiar with Leap Motion, right?
I still somewhere around here. I don't know where it's at. I still have one somewhere.
It's so tiny.
I don't think it's plugged in.
It's so tiny, but
it might be in a drawer.
According to this article on Gadget, you might want to dust that off, because Leap Motion wants picking up VR objects to feel believable. I know I had this problem when I was playing Office Simulator on the Vive, and here it's showing a picture of this. Basically, the Leap was a bar that kind of went like by your keyboard, and then you could move your hands over it, and it would move in 3D space with the demo that was running on the laptop. Chilla actually demonstrated that here in the studio. But they're showing it kind of strapped to the front of the HTC, so it would see your hands kind of in front of your face, where they would hopefully be, unless your hands are backwards. But yeah, so it would. So what? So I'm trying to figure out how they're doing the force of feedback on top of it.
That's where I don't, unless it also can measure like how fast your hand moves. I agree. I don't know how they're going to give you force feedback on your fingers, but they may be able to take a more natural, accurate. So most of the stuff that I've seen, you kind of close a fist around a device.
Yeah.
To kind of get the feeling of something. Well, obviously, if I want to go pick something up and my fist is closed because I'm holding this thing, it's very unnatural. So if you grab something, at least you're making the same hand motion. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know how they're, unless you have some kind of gloves. I don't know how they're going to be able to accommodate any kind of feedback.
They're talking mostly about like kind of the interactions in the game engines and how the physics are pretty much off. And they said the interaction engine solves the issue by implementing an alternate set of physics rules, which trigger whenever your hands are touching or inside a virtual object. Interesting. I'll be curious. There's a lot of people kind of looking at all kinds of sides around virtual reality. I'll be curious to see what happens around that. So, that we talked about earlier. Katie, what is happening with this Google app Crowdsource?
Crowdsource. It kind of snuck up. It really kind of no fanfare, just kind of was noticed by some folks at Android Police. It's only on Android, obviously, and in the Google Play Store. What it is you sign into Crowdsource, and it starts asking you questions about you, like what languages do you know, like what area are you in, and they want you to help kind of essentially crowdsource some translations. And what else? For Google Maps, image transcription, and more. So essentially, it's just Google asking for your help as human beings. And they're not rewarding you for it, like a lot of other systems.
I just drop it in this app and say, hey, what's the sign say? Hey, what is the sentence in your language?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Or what is it? Like, it could be it could have a lot to do with slang. So, like, how do you pronounce the Duquesne Bridge? Because they're probably saying Duquesne.
Yeah.
I could see it being for a lot of like local slang or yin speak around here. I could also definitely see it be for, and I've been seeing this a lot more in, I can't remember if it was Yelp or Facebook, but when we were on vacation, I was looking up a lot of places in Facebook and maybe it was in Yelp. And it was when I was posting pictures in Facebook and when I was looking up stuff on Yelp. Almost every place that I went, it asked me that if the times of the location were accurate. So like Jolly Roger Amusement Park in Ocean City, it was like, is it true that this place closes at 9 p.m. while I'm posting pictures and it's 10:30? So no. Mm-hmm. And like I found myself being sourced for a lot of that type of data. So I could see Google doing the same. I could see them using this for map data, especially when it comes to locations, even if they're asking if phone numbers are accurate if you're at a specific location. So I could definitely see this being meaningful. And I could also see people wanting to provide information, especially if Google's current information is inaccurate.
I like the way that if you read about the app on Google Play Store, do quick, simple tasks that have a huge impact, improving the quality of Google Translate in your language, Google Maps. Each micro task takes no more than 5 to 10 seconds, so knock away a few the next time you find yourself with a few moments to kill, waiting in line at the grocery store, train ride home. Every time you use it, you know that you've made the internet a better place for your community.
I want to say, how do you get the mass of people to use this thing? Other than just kind of curiosity, I guess. And then
I see if someone tries to go in and put a negative piece of information or a negative review about the accuracy of Google data, I could see Google spitting back, thank you for your input. Oh, and by the way, you want to make things better. Just like Katie was saying, you want to make things better for you and everyone else. Use this app.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
It's interesting because the first comment under the reviews is the tasks are easy and quick, questionable permissions. Again, with the Google, questionable permissions for an app.
Google needs access to your microphone so it can ask you questions.
Yes. Google
There you
needs
go.
all the. It's just interesting.
Maybe you do need to like speak some things into it. How do you say this? Duquesne, right?
Yeah, like I could see, I mean, and that's something that's always confusing to people too. Like when you install Facebook or maybe it's Facebook Messenger, it prompts you for access to your phone, your microphone, your camera. Like it asks you for a slew of access, but it's because the Messenger app can do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Even if you don't think about it. Chilla, is Samsung and Microsoft taking a preemptive strike against Apple here?
So you posted a story last night with, I think it was on Twitter with that cat.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually get to see that commercial in its entirety, but I've been noticing a lot of the commercials come up about like, my Surface Book has extended battery life that my Mac doesn't have, which I kind of give an awkward eye to. I've spent a decent amount of time with both devices, and I'm not sure where they're getting it. The MacBook doesn't have ample battery life, but that being said, it's interesting because we're talking about Fitbit announcing new devices. We're talking about Microsoft commercials. Samsung's recently rolled out the Note 7 S3 watch announcement that they're coming out with tomorrow. Everybody's announcing all of these stuff rather quickly and trying to flood the market with a lot of different devices. I think all knowing that Apple is definitely slated usually the first full week of September to typically give an announcement and then quickly have product releases from mid-September through the end of the year, and then even into the spring now with the potential new iPad release timing. So I definitely personally think that everybody's taking kind of a preemptive strike, knowing that Apple's about to unleash its holiday fury on everyone that's looking for devices. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I definitely I'm seeing a ramp up in commercials for everybody, even including Apple with some of their new iPad Pro commercials. And what would it be like to have it as a laptop? I think is kind of their question, but it'll be definitely interesting to see what they announce next week. But I'm also interested in what all these other companies, because when you're the first to announce, you're also the first to try to scramble to then compete if the next company coming along has a better idea or announces some cool feature and you just announced your device a week ahead of time. You're typically going forward with your release and then scrambling to kind of come up with a revision A or 3.5 or whatever version to keep people wanting your device.
The thing that caught my eye was this thing from Verge with the Microsoft Surface commercial. Macs are as useful as a hat for your cat. Yes, and that was kind of interesting and fun. And I'm really glad I don't have to deal with these commercials on a regular basis on television that I don't watch.
And personally, and don't get me wrong, I like all the platforms, but there's a lot of things that keep me coming back to the Mac. And I spoke about it last night on Twitter. There's no iMovie comparison.
That was a good point. There is no iMovie. This is something that YouTube stars were made using iMovie of all things, and you can't do that. I can go get Premiere for $50 a month, $20 a month, whatever, but I can't just have your thing. Like, for what you pay, I feel like you get so much more just in the built-in software.
I totally agree, and I mean, I have I have that old MacBook Air that I keep around for some stuff, and it's 2011, and iMovie rocks it. I mean, I'm running the beta. I don't have some of the bells and whistles that you're going to get with iOS, and I won't be able to unlock it with my Apple Watch, but it's still doing just fine. Rendering video and
right.
I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy with 4K or whatnot. But to your point,
I have Photoshop.
Your basic stuff is perfect.
I have the entire Adobe suite, and I'm still going back to Adobe Spark on my iPhone in order to make up a lot of like promotional images. And Katie, I think you were looking at it too. I mean, just like, I just throw this on my phone and do it there. It's easier that way. I have a thing that does X and Y. It does two things and does them well. Okay, we'll just do it there. That's really all I need. Like that. This thing is a part of my workflow. And Adobe, I think Post is something available on Android as well. I think that's pretty incredible. Well, guys, we got through all this without a pie story.
I know.
Wouldn't it be awesome if this landed on like March 14th? Too bad. Too bad we're too far off for that. But guys, it's been a lot of fun. Chilla is chillatech.net.
At Chilla on the Twitter, Chilla Photo on the DeviantArt, Chilla579 on the Instagram. Come find me.
Go get them. Go get them. And of course,
go get them, Tiger.
Katie Dudas at KDoders on the Twitter. Scarehouse.com.
All the Scarehousey things.
Mm-hmm.
Scarehouse, and more Scarehouse.
Scarehouse Weekly.
A little bit of everything, I feel like now.
All over the place.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
Guesting on people's podcasts.
I just show up randomly.
Yes.
You don't even invite me. I just show up at your podcast.
Yep.
I'll just be like, oh, they're doing a podcast here.
Podcast Crasher. There's a good concept.
Yes.
That is a great concept.
Oh, man.
There actually was that. There was some unplannedness on the Does This Hold Up podcast. They did it live at the Comedy Fest. And somebody just rolled right in. I don't know, some famous Italian from Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name, but it was fun. But all right, and I'm at Sorgatron on the Twitter. Check out everything at sorgatronmedia.com. All the fantastic shows that we're putting together for ourselves and our clients. SidekickMediaServices.com. I need to remember to start plugging that. And so much more. Thank you so much for joining us again. Please check out everything AwesomeCast.net. Join us live.sorgatronmedia.com, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday. Programming note, we might not be on next Tuesday. There's something that may be coming up. I have not confirmed it, but we did talk about it. Look, we'll put it on the site and social media, I'm sure, whenever we kind of narrow this down. We may just have the show next Wednesday or probably Thursday after the Apple announcement. That will make more sense.
Are you going to the Apple announcement?
I'm not going to the Apple announcement. It's on like a Wednesday. Come on, man. Come on.
You'll be flying out Tuesday night, attending Wednesday, flying back Wednesday afternoon. You'll be back in time, tip-top shape for a Thursday show.
Oh, I'm sure. Tip-top shape indeed, right? But check out everything. AwesomeCast. Thank you so much to our chat room, our live chat room over here. You've been our awesome chat room. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.